There we go. So, Cursed Hollow, Team Huckin Spears have the first pick. So they're already down for a lot of their time there. Not sure if we're going to see a ban or not from them. Maybe. There's almost no time left. Was that intended? What's going on here? I'm not sure what's going on for... Is it messed up? Okay, it looks like the links somehow are getting messed up. Or Top Drafter is actually down. Partially dead. Hey. If this doesn't work, I'll have to just go to Heroes Fire or Heroes Draft and do it over there. All right, so we'll see if it continues bugging out for Team Huckin Spears. All right, there we go. We're off to the races. So Zool, the first ban of the game, and an immediate follow-up from Incididunt with ETC. So what I think we'll see from Incididunt is possibly trying to make a play for tank control, or by getting rid of another tank and then choosing a tank, they limit the pool drastically. So there they go. They got Diablo. They took out an ETC, and now they're pressuring Team Huckin Spears with the choice of choose a tank, or we'll probably ban out another tank on you. Now, the Gazlo pick is definitely out of the ordinary, but we're also on Cursed Hollow, where he can get a lot of value, especially with his recent rework. So Filestad, though, on such a big map, is going to have amazing value. And with Zog on Team Huckin Spears, they already have a very good answer for Gazlo and to prevent him from just pushing for free. And the nice thing for Incididunt is they already have an answer for the creep. Diablo, I mean, he's pretty much free creep clear at every level. So they can pick up one more assassin if they really want to prioritize it. So they're going with Jaina. Jaina's seen what a lot of people consider being nerfed out of existence with the removal of Bolt and her ice block being pushed to 20. But she is still strong in the right hand. She's lost her survivability in spades, but doesn't mean she doesn't dish out damage still. So Uther is coming in as the next ban for Incididunt. I wonder if this is because Incididunt is looking for a major wombo combo. We got Gazlo. So the Gazlo sets up an APOC. The APOC can set up potentially more damage. But Team Huckin Spears already took Zag and Jaina, which could have been very nice follow ups for all that womboing that I'm expecting. So there's no more Lin Ming on the table, who would have been a great follow up for a wombo. All that damage onto whoever, and all of a sudden, bam, they're obliterated, and she just keeps getting resets and resets. But I actually can't. I'm not sure if I believe my eyes. What we're seeing here is causing my brain to explode and implode simultaneously. We're seeing Rexar and Lily as a third and fourth pick for Incididunt. I don't understand what just happened. Um, I'm assuming what Incididunt wants to do is some crazy like boss control that they're going to go have Gazel and Rexar literally either simultaneously or quickly as a duo take camps and take bosses. The Lily pick I don't quite understand because it's Lily, but maybe they're going to do something crazy. Like, what they could do is throw a grav bomb down, getting APOC. So actually, sorry, they'll do I believe it's Thrill of the Hunt or whatever the ability is named for Rexar. His ult that will slow people down with his boars. Gazlo follows up with his big gravel bomb. Diablo will follow up with a stun, and then Lily will potentially drop the water dragon onto all of them so they cannot escape. So the only answer to this that I'm seeing from this potential huge wombo is a Zog dropping a nice devouring maw right when the gravel bomb is about to drop. If they do that, that'll counter a lot of, if not all of, the wombo potential. Because if the gravel bomb drops, the APOC has to wait for the gravel bomb to go off to set him up. And then when they're currently mod and the gravel bomb is off, they can pretty much get out of it at that point. So the final picks we're going to see are Johanna and Malfurion and Raynor. This is a super crazy draft coming out from Incididunt. I don't know if I believe what I see right now. I'd like to say that Incididunt is going to blow all of our minds, all of our collective minds right now, and do some next tier plays. I mean, Raynor is kind of unexpected here, but Hyperion plus the gravel bomb plus the APOC plus the water dragon. I think we're going to see some like crazy next level plays here. And so the counter for all this is Malfurion, Johanna, Jaina, Zag, and Falstad. I believe they're going to have an interesting time fighting in the close quarters. And because of the fact that they could very easily lose this Team Huckin Spears. All that AoE damage is going to be, I believe, countered pretty easily from Malfurion. So for Team Huckin Spears, we have Paragon of Honor on Malfurion, Wreck Tim on Falstad, Dark on Johanna, Zagara on Jammers, Greg Zinham on Jaina. And that is Team Huckin Spears. And for Incididunt, we have Drink Blood on Raynor, Azuro on Diablo, Kagon 5 on Rexar. We have Mad Psycho 27 on Gazlo, and Doctor Who 626 on Lily. So we're going to see Gazlo heading mid with Rexar and Raynor bot. In this composition, I would have probably opted to have Gazlo top or bot and Rexar in the opposite lane. And for Team Huckin Spears, we're actually and for Team Huckin Spears, we already have 4 members heading into mid. No one really doing anything. They're quickly checking, but nothing of real value happening for both teams. And both teams already separated out. Zag, though, is currently in a 2v1 situation, so if Jammer plays his cards right, he'll be okay, because Rexar isn't going to push out this lane super fast, but Misha is great at absorbing some of those tower shots, and with the help of Drink Blood, they'll be able to push down this lane pretty fast. There is Falstad, but he's solo top. With Falstad solo top, he won't be able to come down to help Zag, and because of that situation, I'd expect Jammers to quickly lose this lane. As you can see, he's already down to a quarter of his life left, or a third of his life left, having to tap immediately there. But these towers are going to just be having all their ammo ate up really, really quickly. Going through the actual talents that we see, you got Gimme More, Hunter Gatherer, Soul Feast, Conjurer's Pursuit, and Extra TNT. And then we got Shando's Clarity, Gathering Storm, Night Takes Pawn, Lingering Chill, and Reconstitution. Interesting to see Shando's Clarity here. I guess they believe they didn't need extra wave clear to the combination of Johanna, Jaina, and Zag. We do finally get a rotation coming out from Greginham down to the bottom lane, which is nicely done. Keep the pressure, hold back that lane. And they are actually up in XP. It's very, very minor at this point, but they will hit 4 before Incididunt. Now that Jammers has started to get some more creep spread, he's able to be a little bit more aggressive. And with that extra speed, you can go and poke someone like Kagon and potentially even Drink Blood. Although Raynor does have the extra range, which he really should be exploiting. Trying to exploit as best as he can. So now that we hit 4, we got Rampant Growth, Power Throw, Balls of Hope, Snowstorm, and Envenom Spines. Snowstorm is going to do a ton of work in these tight places. It'll be super easy to drop it and hit multiple people. So now we got Vigorous Assault, Taking Flight, Fire Devil, Healing Ward, and Mercenary Lord. Okay, this is going to be pretty crazy. So we are seeing what I think will be this strange, like, take mercs, control bosses kind of build. Azura, though, going deep into the backline, is going to get dropped right now, and this is going to be a big advantage for Team Huckin Spears. Wreck Tim is pretty low, but all these turrets are just providing this huge barrier that no one on Team Huckin Spears can actually go through at this point. Additionally, Misha is just putting out so much damage and so much zoning that they really can't go in at this point. They're all tapping, and they're just taking more and more damage. However, we are getting now the engagement now that everyone has tapped, and Drink Blood is super low, and Greginham, nicely done, picks up that final hit to take down Drink Blood. And after that tap, unfortunately, they didn't really decide whether they wanted to continue pushing as a team into Team Huckin Spears, or if they wanted to just like retreat. because they could have easily continued to harass them, but they didn't decide to do that. Now that Team Huckin Spears has won the very first tribute, it's not anything that Incididunt has to worry about. However, their team comp is significantly weaker, I feel, late game. Falstad is just going to keep getting stronger and stronger from Gathering Storm. Zag, once she hits 13 and 16, just becomes a beast once Brood expansion appears. And they have a half level lead. So as they keep getting up this extra advantage, it'll just be harder and harder to fight for these tributes. And once they hit 10, which could very likely be the third tribute fight, they'll have to give it up. And if they can't win this one, that'll be the curse for Team Huckin Spears. Unfortunately, Mad Psycho is still currently working on the Mercs, so they're just going to have to harass him. But Azuro is super deep, going way ham into that backline. The Healing Ward dropping, but at that point, it was absolutely futile, especially with Lily. Lily is going to do almost no good here. Her blind is very low value. The only person it's going to really impact is Falstad, who's playing a Mage stat build. Doctor Who and Drinkblood both barely escaping there, but nicely done from Jammers, where he managed to pick up that kill. They're now half a level still ahead. They're at their second tribute, and this pretty much means that I'm expecting that they hit level 10 before the third tribute comes, and it's pretty much an insta win for Team Huckin Spears to get that third tribute. Nonetheless, they did manage to take down the front wall in the bottom lane, which is going to give them some of that XP they need to hit level 10. Unfortunately, it's not going to be quite enough to really hit 10 before the tribute appears. Mad Psycho is making a very ballsy play here. He's actually going to steal the bruisers from Team Huckin Spears. This will actually do a decent job at starting to apply pressure, just getting in some extra damage, and eating up some of those tower shots. So 10 has now been hit finally, and we're going to see Devouring Maw, we're going to see the Ring of Frost, Blessed Shield, Mighty Gust, and Tranquility. Nothing really out of the ordinary. The Ring of Frost has been seeing a lot more play, and Mad Psycho unfortunately isn't able to set up in time, so there's only one turret down, which Wrecked Him just instantly obliterates. Azuro going really ham again, but Wrecked Him is already fairly low. We got a nice Devouring Maw drop in there, but I don't think this is going to be enough. And a huge wombo of the root into the Ring of Frost. Absolutely nowhere for them to go. And fighting 10 versus 9, really bad decision there. You can ask for a worse fight in the game. And this was the scenario that I was talking about. They're already a level ahead. Oh, nicely done from Dark, managing to pull back Drinkblood just to get in the final last hits needed to take him out. So this is the scenario that I was talking about, that they pretty much wanted to avoid but couldn't avoid. If they try to fight for the third tribute, they lose. And they lost really badly there. Unfortunately, they lost all 5 members of their team. And they gave them a tribute with multiple members of Incididunt down, which then means they gain even more value from the tribute push. At this point, they're nearly 2 levels ahead, and they're about to hit 13, get the extra talent advantage, and Greg's and him doing quite nicely there, dropping down that Blizzard and Cone of Cold, finish off Drinkblood. Drinkblood clearly out of position there, using the Hyperion, gaining almost nothing out of it, especially against 5 members of Team Huckin Spears. They really had he really had no business trying to use Hyperion and zone him out. I mean, Hyperion was not going to scare away 5 members of a team when you're alone. So at this point, we're already down to only 3 remaining structures, while for Team Huckin Spears, they are sitting pretty. I mean, top, mid, and only bot. It's the only thing that's been taken. The front wall is the only thing been taken so far. Their strategy is not playing out at this point. Getting camp control, not really doing it. And now that 10's been hit, let's take a quick look. We got the Robo Goblin. So that idea of like boss / merc control is happening, but the Zag is actually doing a nice job dropping creep, keeping vision, not allowing Mad Psycho to actually do what he wants. Drink Blood though, super low right now. It got his adrenaline already popped, and down he goes. Kagon 5 joining him shortly thereafter. Not a whole lot of that you can do 2v4, especially with slows, stuns, and roots at their disposal. So we might be seeing the first keep of the game really quickly already. And so as the next tribute spawns, there'll be almost no reason for Team Huckin Spears to go back. They should just keep pushing their advantage. They have a 3-level advantage, they have a talent advantage, and they gain almost nothing from getting this tribute. It's 0 and 0. In fact, they gain more from keeping pressure on Incididunt. Incididunt can't let them take a keep, so they have to sit there, and they could easily do a 1-4 with Falstad sitting mid, soaking, while the rest of the team is sitting bot. So unfortunately, Mad Psycho is super low, and hasn't been able to solo. But we got Wrecked Him, who's already spotted this out, but at this point I don't think it's possible. A beautiful gust coming out from Wrecked Him, and he has just stolen the first boss of the game. This is not what they wanted in Incididunt. This is essentially the worst possible of all scenarios. And we got a beautiful Ring of Frost coming out, capturing Lily in it, and down she goes. A follow-up Apocalypse, but Azuro is all alone. There's absolutely nothing he can do in this situation. Now, I understand why Azuro wanted to go in, and it was to save Lily, but Lily was already lost. You need to cut your losses and realize it's better to lose 1 than it is to lose 2. That might sound stupid, but it's something that a lot of players can't grasp, and that giving up another player just makes the advantage that much better for the other team. And so we are going to see the first keep of the game go down. This is just a huge snowball from the boss steal to the kill on Lily, to the kill on Diablo. It just made that keep instantly free. And there is now almost a full 4-level lead for Team Huckin Spears. This game pretty much cannot be lost unless Team Huckin Spears decides to stop playing like how they're playing. Or if Incididunt decides to start playing the game very differently. They're actually expecting Team Huckin Spears to go for their boss, and are nicely traveling down as 5, or were nicely traveling down. Unfortunately, though, Mad Psycho looks like he's going to get caught out here. Nice root coming out from Paragon of Honor, and Mad Psycho is about to get dropped here very shortly. And with a nice follow-up, Ring of Frost onto Lily, and the Jugs is not going to be enough. The Maw, unfortunately, not managing to capture anyone other than Misha, but Azuro is going to be joining his friends in the afterlife. So at this point, this is another keep for Team Huckin Spears. They fairly easily should get this keep. They have a talent advantage. They have multiple level advantages. They did burn through pretty much all their ults other than Gust. But remember, Gust is your safe disengage tool. At the same time, there's a tribute conveniently located for Team Huckin Spears. This is nearly the worst thing that can happen is that they're already set up, ready to go. In the meantime, however, Mad Psycho going really deep into the backline, and he's getting super low. Very, very nicely done from Azuro with a beautiful stun. Now, this is what they wanted, but unfortunately, it's not going to be enough for them as Diablo goes down and Raynor goes down. The Jugs have already been busted, and there comes out a nice Ring of Frost, capturing 3 members of Incididunt, and that is going to probably be game. They can easily push through to the core, and that's exactly what they're doing. They're just booking it to the core. With only Falstad dead, they have the damage of Jammers, they have the damage of Eggs in hand, and that's going to be enough. That was one of the first fights that looked like it might actually turn it around for Incididunt. Unfortunately, that was not the case. I think the problem for Incididunt there was they decided to go Robo-Goblin. Robo-Goblin may have single-handedly lost them the game in the sense that there was almost no team fight. And because they had no team fight ability from Gazlo, the value Robo-Goblin brought through the rest of the game was minimal to non-existent, which is unfortunate. It didn't work out the way I was expecting of there to just be boss after boss picked up. In fact, we're going to go through. So we'll quickly go through all of the talents that were chosen. We saw Shando's Clarity pairs up pretty nicely with Jaina, especially if she's going to be spamming. I would have liked Moonburn a little bit more, but that just adds more wave clear. They decided Jaina, Johanna, and Zog were more than enough wave clear, which is perfectly reasonable. And aside from that, he pretty much just went straight heals. I'm not a fan of Life Seed, but that's everyone has a different choice on what they like. And finally, he went with Tenacious Roots. That extra large root is awesome. You don't necessarily need it. A lot of people like to pick up other things, but it was in those tight corners, in tight areas. The extra large root essentially guarantees there is no way for someone to enter, and there is no way for them to avoid it. And then with the Mage Stag Gathering Storm, Power Throw, Boomerang, Crippling Hammer, and Hammer Time, follow, and of course Gust. So this has become like the new flavor of the month for Falstad. You saw people using Seasoned Marksman builds before that, but now the Gathering Storm build is definitely more popular, I'd say. Johanna, pretty much all the same things. Battle momentum. I'm a fan of pretty much anyone who can have battle momentum. It's always a good choice. Burning Rage and Imposing Presence. Imposing Presence is a very good choice, especially if it did come down to the late game and Gazlo picks up level 20. At that point, he can't kill Johanna. And same thing with Raynor, Rexar. Rexar already does pitiful damage. So Rexar auto-attacking Johanna, it's like good night. Isn't going to do anything. And finally, we got Lingering Chill, Snowstorm, Frostbitten, Ring of Frost, Ice Barrier. Which is interesting that she chose the Ice Barrier. I don't know what people are opting for Jaina, particularly since she's fallen out of the meta since her changes. And finally, Northern Exposure. With the damage they had available from Falstad, with being Q build, Zag with the consistent damage from Mutalisks, and just Jaina in general just dropping down those blizzards, that extra 25% damage just melts people. And then finally we have Reconstitution, Envenom Spines, Endless Creep, Devouring Maw, Mutalisk, and Brood Expansion. This is pretty much your standard build. I think the only thing that really changes nowadays is whether or not you want Mutalisk or Hydralisk still, and whether you want Endless Creep or Battle Momentum. Rapid Incubation is one of those kind of talents that is considered a crutch, because either you're not managing your mana properly, or you're not using wells to the best extent. Now, that's not to say Rapid Incubation is bad. That's just to say a lot of people don't consider it to be a better choice when presented Endless Creep or Battle Momentum. So finally, for Incididunt, we had Gimme More, Vigorous Assault, Revolution Overdrive, Hyperion, and Double Barreled. So what's interesting is that Vigorous Assault was actually picked up here instead of Focus Attacks, which is usually what was picked up before, the nerf on Focus Attacks. I'm assuming part of the reason Vigorous Assault was picked up was due to the fact that Lily can't target her heals, and Raynor was essentially playing a super safe or safer build because he picked up Give Me More and Vigorous Assault, so he should hopefully keep himself topped off a lot better, which unfortunately wasn't the case and didn't work out that way. Finally, I'm assuming that Drinkblood was going to go with the stun at 16, and unfortunately they never made it there. Finally, we had Hunter-Gatherer, Taking Flight, Aspect of the Beast, Unleash the Boars, and Bare Necessities. So my prediction of a boss Merc like duo between Gazlo and Rexxar actually didn't happen for a variety of reasons. Rexxar didn't go with the actual talents to increase his damage to non-heroes in Mercs and bosses. And so because he didn't pick that up, lane clearing was a lot worse for Rexxar, and there was no possibility to do this crazy Rexxar takes one boss, Gazlo takes another boss kind of setup. Instead, it was just straight up Gazlo tried to take one boss on his own until Raynor came, and then the great play from Rectim there to actually steal it. Finally, we had Soul Feast, Fire Devil, Battle Momentum, APOC, and Firestorm. This is pretty standard, nothing wrong with it. The biggest problem I saw was Azura was going very, very ham into those fights. In a lot of cases, it was one person who was nearby, two tops. So it was essentially going in 4v2 into many fights. And then finally, Lily, we got Conjurer's Pursuit, Healing Board, The Good Stuff, Jug, and Shrink Ray. I don't know if Shrink Ray was really needed here. They didn't have a melee assassin. They didn't have a Sonya. So Shrink Ray wasn't really going to get him that much value against Team Huckin Spears. And then finally we had extra TNT, Mercenary Lord, Hyper Focus Coils, Robo Goblin, and Easy Peasy Dimensional Ripper. So I honestly feel they had a better chance if they had gone Gravel Bomb. The Gravel Bomb, especially in that last fight, if they dropped a Gravel Bomb with that APOC, they could have easily gotten a second kill out of there. And that might have meant that they actually turned the game around, especially with that level disadvantage in the underdog XP that they would have gotten. But nonetheless, a very interesting and ballsy draft out of Incididunt. Unfortunately, it didn't work out for them, but maybe they can reevaluate how they want to play a composition like this. Because I honestly think they could have seen more success kind of going all in on the concept of, or the idea of, where we're going to just like out push you by out murking you and out bossing you on Cursed Hollow. We're going to have Rexar clearing lanes like a boss. We're going to have Gazlo clearing lanes like a boss. And Rexar and Gazlo are going to just duo through these bosses like they're nothing. Or they could, split and do them separately. And of course, once the enemy team realizes what you're doing, it's going to be much harder for them to respond, especially if you're splitting. They'll have to keep up with you and your boss and your murking. Unfortunately, it didn't work out that way because they never applied the murk pressure that I was hoping to see out of their composition.